everybody. Give me just a second. Typing some stuff here, and sometimes my brain works, but sometimes I have to like focus and be like, okay, I'm trying to type this. Don't know. Sometimes it works. Good morning, everybody. Just a minute ago, we were hanging outside with those micro mini Scottish Highland cows. And we were with McKenna and Emma, and they were helping and teaching us so much stuff about them. So that was Dolly and Annie that are out there, and they are the cutest. But I'm sure you guys are wondering what I'm holding right here. So this guy is Dash. So he's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth, and he's about 16 months old. I'm pretty sure he's the cutest thing ever. Some of the other animals that we have here at Ocoee Riverside Farm are camels. So we actually have Humphrey. Humphrey is a Bactrian camel. And an easy way to understand what that means is if you think about a bee laying on its side, it has two humps. And that's just like Humphrey. I think Humphrey kind of looks like Sid the Sloth because his eyes are kind of far apart. But I think he's pretty cute. Dash is pretty cool. Good morning, everybody. We're live here at Ocoee Riverside Farm, and we're just here hanging out with Dash. I hope you're having a great day. We've almost made it all the way through 2025. I think we're doing all right. Just got done celebrating Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, and I had a great Christmas. I hope you guys did too. If you're looking for a quiet place to relax, that's going to be Ocoee Riverside Farm. We are located in Benton, Tennessee. In Benton, Tennessee, we have a couple things. We have a red light. Well, we might have one red light. There's one or two, I'm not sure. But Benton, Tennessee is located halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. And it's right on the banks of the beautiful Ocoee River. And that's right where those covered wagons are also. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm gonna check on something, so I gotta hit a little button on some of these so I can figure out what I'm doing. All right. Well, if you want to know what it was, okay, here's the big secret. I've been told by my conscience, my hat looks ridiculous. All right, so I'm going to take the hat off. I was trying it, but it's off. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ocoee Riverside Farm. We're hanging out here with Dash, and starting at about 10:30, we're going to be doing a sloth encounter. Now, sloths aren't the only thing that we have here at Ocoee Riverside Farm. We also have spider monkeys. And here, as soon as they start doing some sloths, I think we might go check out those spider monkeys. Because get this, can you believe that our spider monkeys take naps? They do. I didn't even know. I was like, hey, let's make a video with a spider monkey. And it was napping. So, learn something new every day. Where is Zoe? Zoe is napping in just the other room, but that video that we just put up yesterday of her, wasn't that so cute? She was like, hey, I'm ready to pose. Guys, so we were talking about those Scottish Highland cows earlier. So, a group of Scottish Highland cows, they call them a fold. I thought that was pretty cool. Also, it is the oldest living breed that's been around since 1884. And here's the deal. So they started over in Scotland, okay? And they used to call them Cloes or Callawes. It's some Celtic term, I can't say it correctly. But most of the Scottish Highland cows used to be very dark, right? And then Queen Victoria, this is what she says. She goes, I like the ginger ones. I think the ginger ones look better against the green grass. Next thing you know, most of the Scottish Highland cows are gingers. Thought that was pretty hilarious. Do we give them a bath? No, not really. They're pretty clean. Good morning, everybody. If you're just now joining us, we're live here at Ecoe Riverside Farm, and this is Dash. He's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth. We don't have any three-fingered sloths, and the reason we don't is they have a very specific diet. They need to eat the leaves of the sarcopia tree. All right. Do you think I could have a little stick or two of the food, Michaela? Dash is, he's looking like he's gonna make a break for it if I don't give him a little bite. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip over these glasses if I can figure out how to do that, and you can see little Dash eat. All right, Dash, there's a little bite, buddy. Are you feeling? Oh yeah. So we feed him a mixture of squash, sweet potato, zucchini, and a little bit of fruit. Aww. Pretty sure he's the sweetest thing ever. Dash is about 17 months old, maybe 18 now. What is it, Michaela?
His birthday is August 5th, so however long that was.
So, almost 16, no, almost 17 months. There we go, we finally did some math. All right, he is not feeling the squash anymore. How long do they live? They live, typically in the wild, they live 20 to 30 years, but in captivity, there were two sloths, and they lived to 52 and 54, and that was Jan and Paula in Germany. And yes, I know, the POV is only right now on Facebook because how Meta has the glasses set up. Yeah, I can post up videos later on, but for the live stream, I can only do it through Meta. How do we know that they're happy? They tried to give us thumbs up or thumbs down, but they don't have thumbs. So it's really like they just give us peace signs because they only have two claws. Well, they seem happy. They are really sweet, and they enjoy the snuggles, and they like to hang out. That is a sloth, that's right. Good morning, everybody. We're live here at Ecoe Riverside Farm, and this is Dash. He's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth. Where are you guys watching from? Oh, I thought somebody said Ohio. He is a cutie. He is the cutest ever. So we have Dash, Flash, Zoe, and Chloe. Chloe's the youngest. She's only like 8 months old and weighs 2 pounds. She looks like a little cute Hershey Kiss long-legged Labrador. That's what she looks like. Montreal, how's it going? Can he sleep with me? It would be way too hot for me because sloths require their environment to be between 75 to 80 degrees. If it's 80 degrees where I'm sleeping, unless it's on the beach, I'm not happy. Idaho, how's it going, Aubrey in Idaho? If you're in northern Idaho near Brundage, McCall, best snowboarding and skiing ever. They're not sloths, they want to be alone and just sleep all day. Well, that's kind of true. They sleep 15 to 20 hours per day, but when we walk in the room, they reach out with their arms and they're like, hey, can I have a hug? And it's really hard to turn them down sometimes. Hey, how's it going in Houston? Your cat does that? I know, we're all suckers for animals. All right, let's see if you want a little sweet potato, bud. No? You want some zucchini?
10:30 just came through the gate. So I'll let him out of this room. This is where I think they're right on our best.
You want to do this one?
I hear this one.
You want
Good for
to... Well, we tried to give him a little bit of zucchini, but he was, What's the average lifespan of the sloth there? So sloths in captivity, they have lived to 52 and 54. Now here, our average age of a sloth, I guess the average would be, I guess if you went over the number of sloths, it's probably about 2, because Zoe's 2 and Flash is about 8. Do they bite us? No, I hope not. As you can see, I was trying to feed her a little bit of food and she barely even kind of nibbles on that. And excuse me, it's not a she, it's he. Did you know that sloths eat 10% of their body weight every single day? It's true. And then they only use the bathroom every 7 to 10 days. So here's what they do. They go to the tree and they hold on and they work their way all the way down. And then when they're at the bottom, they use the bathroom, the sloth moth crawls up onto them and it lives on them. Then, because of them laying sloth moth eggs and the algae and the bacteria, and this whole ecosystem that happens on their back, when the sloth grooms itself, it ingests that, and that's what helps keep the bacterial cycle of their digestive going. Pretty cool. How's it going, Mandy in Ohio? Hope you're having a great day. Good morning, everybody. We're live here at Coe Riverside Farm, and this is Dash. We're trying to see if he wants any breakfast this morning, but he's really just entertaining us with maybe his dance moves. I'm not quite sure what I would call them, but he's moving around. Good morning, everybody. Where are you watching from? I think I saw Ohio, Australia, and Antarctica. I was like, what? That's pretty cool. The other weekend, I think we finally had all locals here. Good morning, Alpha. Thank you so much for watching. Minnesota, Michigan, way to go. You guys probably definitely had a white Christmas. We did not have a white Christmas. You know, I think it could be a possibility that we have a white New Year's. What would you feel about that, Michaela? A little white New Year?
I'd be happy. If it's going to be this cold, it might as well just go ahead and snow.
That's what I'm saying. I think to me the most annoying weather is like 40 degrees and raining. It's like, it's good for nothing. It kind of reminds me of Seattle sometimes. Now I'm not hating on Washington, but right there on the coast sometimes it gets a little dreary. You don't had a white Christmas, but you had a freezing rain? Well, I hope you were safe, because freezing rain, that's scary sometimes. Is this a literal sloth? It is a literal sloth, and every time I try to tell it a joke, it doesn't get it, and I think that that's why it's so literal. He is cute, and his name is Dash. And he has some friends here. We have 4 sloths. We have Flash, Dash, Zoe, and Chloe. Is his fur soft or scratchy? Great question. So, I think their fur feels directly between regular hair and beard hair. My daughter and my girlfriend say that it feels like troll doll hair. Now, I don't have a troll doll to compare it to because I don't have any troll dolls. But that's what people say. California, LA, how's it going out there? Always getting the best sunsets out there in LA. Be careful in that traffic though, it's crazy. North of Sweden, you live in Stockholm, that's awesome. Guys, we were just hanging out with some of our animals that are native to Europe. We have a couple, but one of them is the Scottish Highland cow. So get this, the Scottish Highland cow. It was registered in 1884, so that's a couple days ago. It's the oldest registered breed there is. And here's another cool thing, gingers. It's because Queen Victoria liked gingers. So she was looking around at all the Scottish Highland cows, and they always were normally just all black cows. And they were like, hey, I really like gingers. So because of Queen Victoria, we now have a lot of ginger Scottish Highland cows. Some of ours, though, are really cute. They're Highland Park Minis. So it's a miniature Scottish Highland cow that only weighs like under 100 pounds. It's all white with black tipped nose, ears, and feet for Dolly, and then ginger tipped nose, ears, and feet for Annie. So pretty cute. Good morning in Brazil. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for watching. El Paso, Texas. Dash says hello to you too. They are deadly cute. They're super cute, but shh, don't say it too loud because they can hear you. I'm being serious. So they have ears right in here. Let's see if we can see them. I'm not gonna mess with them too much, but they're right there. And they really have great hearing. And part of the reason that God gave them such great hearing is they have monorod chromacy. So it means that their vision, it's horrible. but they can hear really well and they have a great sense of smell. So with all that combined, they know what's going on in the trees. Oh, what's its name? His name's Dash, and he's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth. And there's another one up there. Where are you at? That's Flash. Oh, where are you going, Flash? You making moves, bud? There he goes. I see you up there, buddy. What are you doing? Hey, buddy. How are you? You're awesome. Pretty cool, guys. So that's Flash. Let's see if we can switch all this back. Oh, he's drooling on me. Oh, attacked by the drooling sloth. Good morning, everybody. We're live here at Echoey Riverside Farm. I think I'm going to give Flash a little bit of sweet potato here. Here you go, bud. Flash. Oh, he went back up so fast. He might come back down. Good morning, everybody. That was Flash that was just hanging down. I was trying to switch the view so you guys could see him. I'm not sure if it came through all right. We're live here at Echoey Riverside Farm, and this is Dash. He's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth. How old is he? He's 17 months, and Flash up there, he's about 8 years old. Where are we? We're at Echoey Riverside Farm in Benton, Tennessee, hanging out with a bunch of amazing animals that God blessed us with. So it's pretty awesome. Were they rescued? Some were rescued. But a couple of them, like our ambassador animals that you can actually hold, they were bred in captivity by people that only deal with certified zoos or USDA exhibitors. So, they aren't pets. We're licensed by the USDA. What you doing up there, Flash? Flash likes to go up there. I'm not sure if this is a dance move that he does, but he always puts his best foot forward, if you know what I'm talking about. Are we wheelchair friendly? Yeah, we've had people come in right here through the door and work with Donna and send her an email. A lot of times you can pull the car a little bit closer to where there's concrete. Good morning, everybody. We're live here at Echoey Riverside Farm. This is Dash, and he's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth. I think he's pretty amazing. We're going to be starting a sloth encounter at 10:30. Michaela's going to be doing that. So join back in or check back in or watch it later. A couple of the other animals that we have here that people really like are fennec foxes. So here's the deal with fennec foxes. Their ears are huge. And the reason they're so massive is to not just hear well, but also to radiate the heat out away from them. And another thing they'll do is they really pant super duper fast. We're talking over 600 breaths a minute, like 660 or something crazy. So they're just sitting there like going to town, and that's how they prevent from overheating. So if you've ever wanted to come cuddle a fennec fox, you can do that here too. What was that question? Are they really super slow? They are. Why do they move so slow? It's for energy conservation. They're really only consuming, 200, 300, 400 calories a day. We're consuming in the thousands. So they're just set up for their metabolism to operate a lot differently than ours does. It'd be like if you put a bunch of gasoline on a little car, it'd be like, runs too fast. Are they super slow? I think they think fast. Is he my peep? Well, I think sloths really bond with people, and they seem relaxed. The animal is looking at us with love. I agree. What's the average lifespan of a sloth that's constantly held? Well, there were a couple sloths in Germany, Jan and Paula, and they lived to 52 and 54. There was also another sloth at the Smithsonian that was 49. And then several of our acquaintances have sloths in their 30s. So we're pretty excited that the sloths are living longer in captivity than they do in the wild. But there's a lot of rescue stuff being done in the wild in terms of getting the sloths across the road. Because what happens is in the wild is they're reaching out and they're grabbing electrical lines and they're getting shocked. Also, some people either are pulling them from the jungle or even trading them. So really trying to cut down on all that. Costa Rica and Honduras have been doing a really good job of education. Good morning, everybody. We are live here at Ocoee Riverside Farm. This is Dash. He's a two-finger or two-toed Linnaeus sloth, and we actually have 4 sloths here at Ocoee Riverside Farm. 3 of them, that's right, 3 of them you can hold. Dash, Zoe, and Chloe. Good morning, Violet. How are you doing? Hey guys, we're here in Benton, Tennessee. Where are you watching from? Just the other day, I think it was what, Antarctica, Australia, and the Amazon or something was watching. I was like, what? That was awesome. Hey Jade, you're welcome to your opinion, man. That's totally fine. And I do agree that there are some places that just pass sloths around from person to person to person. We don't feel like that's really good. Our sloths are only doing a couple encounters per day, and it's very limited. Our goal here is not the generation of money, but it is for the education of the public. Sweden, how's it going? Texas, how are you? A sloth got you out of New York City? Well, off-road, that sounds awesome, and I like that name. Hey, Pipsqueak, he is hugging me. Thank you so much. Hey, Jade, I totally agree. Yes, people should not pass around sloths or like just, they don't need to be touched all day. So they're really just here with us one-on-one in these situations and very limited. Give me 1 second. Gotta check on.
It's just a surprise. The next thing.
Are they already out there? Are they ready?
They're walking down right now, so we can start running off it too.
Hey
I
guys.
just worry about them seeing the sign that says the
Oh,
sign.
yeah.
That's why I kind of want to get them in there.
All right, guys. So Michaela just told me it's a surprise for these people. So that means I have to stop talking. That's really what it means. It means Kevin, stop talking so we can hang out with the people that are here to see the sloths. I look alike. I guess that's a good thing. I hope so. I'm sorry if it's not. All right, let's see if we can raise this. And do you just want Dash?
It's just a regular sloth encounter.
Okay.
Gosh.
All right, let me get this turned. Alright guys, I'm putting Dash back where he hangs out, and I'll be back in 1 second.
Yes, it is. Yeah. People think I'm crazy because I go out there in short sleeves. I'm like, just wait till you get here. So she saw the sign.
Oh man, I was trying to get.
Flash.
Happy birthday,
Good. So this is Flash. That's who we're going to be hanging out with this
You're
morning.
amazing. Good
And
morning.
we're going to feed him his breakfast, and you
I'll
can
get out of
feed
here
him
also.
real nice and slow like this down the middle of his back. She like the back of the hand though. They don't like to feel like they're being grabbed, so they don't like the fingertips like that. He feels what it feels like.
Good morning, Flash.
Are you looking for some food? You see, he's been kind of picky this morning, but when you offer him his food, you almost have to kind of touch his lip with it so that he knows it's there. They have really poor eyesight, yeah.
Just like a dog.
Yeah, they have really poor eyesight, so sometimes you have to touch it just so he knows that it's there. And if he doesn't want it, he turns his head away. And if not, he'll slightly open his mouth, and you kind of have to slide it in there for him. And then just remember that their eyesight's poor, so he's not going to be able to tell the difference between, goodness, buddy, you're slobbery this morning, between your finger and the piece of food.
Okay.
So once he has a hold of it, you just let it go and let him take in the rest. I don't know which piece you're going to want, but he's picky sometimes, so you just kind of got to filter through and see what he wants. I'm working on chopping up some other veggies, but here, I'll give you this
Are
little
you
bowl.
wanting Fruit Loops instead?
Yeah, he's wanting his fruit is what he's wanting. He loves his fruit. So Flash is 7, well, he's about 8 years old now. I've been saying 7 years old for like 9 months. That's the longest that's when I started working here, but he was 7 before I started working too. So,
You were just a baby.
so I call Flash our old man because he's the oldest sloth that we have on the farm. When in reality, he's still pretty young compared to what they can live. In the wild, they would live around 10 to 15 years. But in captivity, the 2 oldest sloths we know of live to be 52 and 54.
Oh,
So
my
they
goodness.
definitely can live longer if they have everything taken care of for them. Because it's about the same as like, you know, house cats and feral cats.
Yeah.
House cats are going to live for a lot longer than feral cats will because they have food, they have shelter, water, everything is accessible for them. So it's the same way for these guys. The biggest thing being that in the wild, a lot of times the thing that will end a sloth's life is another animal eating them because they are a prey type animal. So they have a lot of other animals that are on the
And you're not
on the lookout
exactly
for
on
them.
the run.
No, they have essentially no defense mechanism. It's kind of a sad thing to think about. But sloths, they really don't have much to work with, so in terms of defense. Now they do have some pretty sharp teeth that a lot of people are surprised about because they are mostly herbivores. But they've still got those sharp teeth that surprise people because if you were to stumble across their skeletal remains in the wild, without knowing what a sloth was, without knowing what kind of animal would have that skeletal structure, you'd be looking at that thinking that that's some kind of top of the food chain for sure. Because how long the arms are, the claws that are on the end, and the canines they have 4 sharp canines. So it's really impressive. And you'd be thinking that was not something real slow and gentle and docile. You'd be thinking that was some kind of crazy something to eat a bunch of other animals. But
How did he end up here? How did you?
so Flash was born. Flash was born and raised in captivity. So is his mother. So is his grandmother. So he has no idea what the rainforest is. And if we were to put him out into the rainforest, he would have no idea what to do and probably not live for very long. He's probably closer to like 3 or 4 generations removed from the rainforest. Goodness, buddy, you can
You're
see
just
stringy
slobber.
slobber
Some
this
days we're
morning.
just more slobbery.
Yeah. Goodness, buddy. He's gonna try to lop that off, but I don't know what you're in the mood for this morning. I can't
like
break out the
beans.
fruits yet.
You
The
like
fruit
beans?
fruit
Green
sliver of
beans
his
are
diet
great.
is
You
very
like beans?
small.
Oh, so close.
He starts to think about it and changes his mind.
Ooh, that's a big
Don't
slobber.
you want it? I need something.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit testy to stay right below him because he'll drop slobber down onto you. A lot of people worry that when he's hanging up above him that he might just let go and fall onto you.
Yeah.
That's never going to be something that you have to worry about because, the sloth's claws work opposite to people's hands. And so for them to let go of the branch, they would have to literally think, I want to let go. He's looking to see if you've got anything.
But you got spit on your heel. Oh, no. I don't have anything. Rachel has the food bowl. I'm sorry I let you down.
I mean, I feel so bad when he's acting like this. 'Cause I'm like, he's obviously hungry, but he doesn't want any of the top choices that we've got here for
It
him
looks
this
really
morning.
good. It looks really good. Okay, we'll try this one.
We got some rice. Let me get some of this rice out of here.
You want some rice? Are you carb loading? Pack it on the winter way. Honey, when you hang upside down like that, the spit rolls back in your face.
Oh.
You need a tissue, like I'm used to.
you're fine.
Glasses for
I think that's
Let's see. What do you think about some rice? So this mixture is a mix of brown rice, shaved up sweet potatoes, and a really high quality dog food that we soak in
Sweet
water and then
potatoes.
mix into it.
Um,
They tend to like it pretty well, and if you wanna hold, well, are you being super
Yeah.
picky?
You got rice on your schneid.
There we
We'll
go.
see, just kinda hold it about like that hot. Maybe,
He's
maybe
doing
a
a
winner.
pirouette.
You got a strong core.
Yes, he does. A lot of people are surprised by how much they can pull themselves up, because if I was hanging by my back feet, and I tried to pull myself back up, it didn't work. So. What do you think, Bud? Your hair goes crazy when he bends down like that.
You got sweet potato in your nostril.
You'll figure that out.
I'm saving it for later.
Why don't I talk to all animals like I do my dog? Oh, exactly.
That's good.
Well,
Did you lose your grip? I think there was a little knot right there
No.
that his nail slipped off of.
How long have you worked here?
I've been here for about 9 months. Yeah.
she has always wanted a pet and
I know, to
touch
be a
and
sloth
hold
in
the sloth,
person.
and it was just like,
Yeah.
I found you all, I was like, is this legit?
The only place I found close enough was in Mississippi, so
Oh,
I
wow.
was just like, how did you find this?
Yeah.
She was convinced she was coming to see a coup.
Oh, yeah.
Because we went to Scotland a couple years ago, and we both love Highland
Love
coos, and so she's like, see, I told you it's cows. I was like,
I don't think I've ever heard a coup.
They're the Highland cows with the hairy bangs
Uh-huh.
that are kind of reddish colored. There are a few farms around that have those.
Yeah. It's like you wanna try
It's
it
breakfast
again?
time.
So
Yeah,
they're-
sweet potatoes.
Their spines are actually really flexible, as you can see when he lowers down, he kind of twists around like that. That's because they have like 5 extra vertebrae in their lumbar spine that gives them the ability to have their hips facing one way and their upper body completely facing the opposite way. So 3-toed sloths, they don't have that in their lumbar spine, but they make up for it in their cervical spine. So 3-toed sloths are the ones that have the band across their eyes.
Yeah.
That's classic, that's on a lot of marketing nowadays. They can turn their head 180 degrees backwards to look behind them,
Wow.
so. it's
That's
pretty-
not freaky at all.
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel like
kinda
I'm-
glad that we don't have any of the
Yeah.
3-toads here, cause they are kinda scary, but.
I mean, who says God's not creative? He's picking his teeth.
He got some stuff between his teeth.
They have.
So how many sloths do y'all have here?
We have 4 total. So Flash is the first one that we got, and Flash is not an ambassador sloth. We have 3 ambassadors that are comfortable with being held, and that doesn't come naturally for sloths.
yeah,
By
I
nature,
would think
sloths
so.
are very solitary animals.
Maybe that's why I like them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That are not just gonna be born wanting to hold on to somebody. That's gonna have to be something that's conditioned really young. And while Flash was born and raised in captivity, he had much more of a hands-off approach to his raising. His mother just raised him how he wanted to, and then when she weaned him, he went into an enclosure by himself and didn't really have any interactions with people. Goodness, buddy. You're
I'll catch
being
it.
a
You
pig
get it,
this
I'll catch it. So the others, you all like,
Yeah, they
bought
do.
like hand raised and
We didn't
whatnot.
bottle feed them, no, they were completely reared by their mothers, and then the mother chooses to wean the baby when it's on her own choosing. I feel like he's got it stuck in his mouth somehow.
There's something stuck in your teeth. Just like a
It's not
toddler making a
slobber.
mess.
You've literally got it about in your eyeball. I didn't catch that one, sorry.
Which side is it on, buddy?
Is it hard to eat upside down? I know.
Well, the thing with the sloths,
You got plenty in your mouth. You need to swallow what you have.
You need to work on that.
We're saying the same
first.
things we said to Ellie on Christmas Day. You need to
My
swallow.
granddaughter needs to swallow what you've already got.
I was like, look in there, do you see something?
But a lot of people are surprised about those teeth though, because the 4 canines in the front are really impressive, and then back behind, all of their molars. There you go. All of their molars are all pointed as well, so they have a total of 18 teeth, 4 at the canines, 8 molars on the top and 6 molars on the bottom.
Very cool.
So the two-toed sloths are kind of opportunistic omnivores, meaning that if they came across a small bird's nest in the rainforest with some young baby birds in it, they would eat something like that to meet their protein requirements. And you know, lizards and amphibians or little bugs and insects, things like that, they would eat. And some bigger organizations that have a lot more sloths than we do will actually opt to feed the pinkies, the little mice that haven't even developed hair yet, and they do pretty well on that. We don't do that here. If it was some kind of a nutrient requirement that they needed those, we would. But Donna,
Yes, okay,
Got
good,
anything in
now you
there?
can have some. Thank you for showing me, I want you to choke. Oh, no, we're spitting up a little bit. Okay.
I'm struggling this morning. We're all struggling. Let's see, keep bringing it here.
Sweet potatoes.
I'm gonna try not to be grossed out, then you grab me with a very slobbery.
But again, just like Ellie, just like.
With rice and everything else in it.
Shows that we're not so that much different from nature.
Oh, you don't want me to touch your hands, sorry. Big lady, will you?
But it took him a long time to get to the point where he was actually even comfortable with us touching him, because when he came to us, he came from a facility that was more similar like a zoo. So really the only human interaction that he had before were just people behind a glass
Right.
observing him,
Right.
and never really had any one-on-one contact with people. His handler would go in there to put food in his dish and
And
come
go
back
out.
out. They never really spent time. And so Flash, when he came here, and he went into a 20-foot enclosure that goes all the way up, he went to the very top,
Yeah.
and if somebody was in
Stay
there,
there.
would not move. And so it really took the first 2 years of
You all
having
do have a
him.
lot
We
in
do have a
common.
John, the owner, he would just sit in the floor of Flash's enclosure and just talk to him, play
Yeah.
on his phone, just spend time with him,
Right.
so that Flash would start to realize this guy's okay if he's in here, he's not doing anything. But really the first 2 years of having him, before he got to the point where he would come down and take a few bites of food out of a bowl from John and then go back up. But then an even longer time to go from eating out of John's hand to even considering eating out of the hand of somebody he didn't know. So it really was a long process, but he started to develop this routine where every morning when John would get here, he would go in there and start talking to him, waking him up, saying good morning. And Flash would start to wake up and look down and say, okay, it's time for breakfast. And as he's coming down, John would come back out here with the door, leave the door open, and start chopping up breakfast. And so when Flash got down and realized there's no food in my bowl yet, and sees John out here making food, he would hook onto the door frame and reach out at John saying, hey, turn around, I'm here, I'm ready. So after he consistently kept doing that every morning, they were like, well, he's already reaching out every morning, why don't we just put a branch out here? And if he wants to, he can reach up and hook onto that.
Yeah.
So that's what they built, and that's what he started to do. Every morning he would come out here, and then from here he would pester John, reaching out and reaching out, trying to get him to turn around. So, and that's how his
It was a process.
encounters first started.
You got
But-
coffee colored eyes.
But you can see those tiny pinpoint pupils, they stay like that all the time in the daytime, but at night, they dilate quite a bit, and you'll see a lot more black in their eyes than you do actually
Yeah.
color. I don't have anything for you, but yeah, they see a lot better at nighttime. In the day, they have what's called bright blindness, and it's basically the equivalent of first thing in the morning when you turn your lights on, you can't really see anything for a couple seconds. That's how it is for them all day long. So even when they're awake, a lot of times the sloths will wake up, look around, see that everything's okay, nothing's trying to get them, and then they'll push close their eyes again. Even if they're not sleeping, they'll have their eyes closed. And that's why scientists used to think they slept upwards to like 30, like 23 hours a day. But that's not the case. They don't actually sleep that much. They just look like they are because they have their eyes closed a long time.
Sorry, it's such tired people.
I have that problem too. Those are some sharp teeth.
And it's actually a self-sharpening mechanism where every time they close their mouth, their top tooth fit just in front of the bottom tooth, and so they sharpen each other every time. So when they're younger, they don't start out quite as pointed. They're still a little bit more kind of blunt. And then as they get older and they grow longer, they get sharper as well. So his will only get sharper and longer as he gets older. But probably the most interesting thing about a sloth is actually the way they digest their food. So to start out with, it's a very slow process, just like everything else
Everything
is
else,
inside
yeah.
the sloth. So for us, one meal will take about 56 hours to digest all the way through our system. So if we eat something that doesn't sit right with us, we may have a stomach ache for a day or two, but then we'll pass it through. Well, for a sloth, one bite of food or one leaf off of a tree takes 30 days before it comes out the other end. So it's a very, very slow trip through.
You eat
So if
something
they-
bad, you're paying
exactly,
for it.
yeah. So it's really important for us to make sure that we're feeding all the things that they actually need, even though he would eat an abundance of fruit at once because he loves it and he tries to hold out on all this for as long as he can. As you can see, he's hungry because he's slobbering and he's waiting for that fruit. But we've got to try with the veggies for as long as we can. So, and then if he does end up eating a lot of fruit in the morning, then he doesn't get hardly any fruit at night. He has to eat his veggies. So it's super important to have everything balanced because this kind of diet is not something they would be exposed to in the wild.
Yeah.
And in the wild, they'd be eating 95% leaf material, and that's the leaves of the sarcopia trees, but those don't grow in North
Can't get those
America.
at Kroger.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So you have to vary it quite a bit. For leafy greens, he eats things like spinach and kale and romaine lettuce and spring mix and different things like that for their browsing. But then they get a lot of the veggies as well, so things like sweet potatoes and carrots and corn and squash and zucchini. So a bunch of different things like that. Now two-toed sloths, which is what Flash is, can handle a diet like that. Three-toads cannot. They can only have those leaves, and that's why you really don't see a whole lot of three-toads in captivity. And that's why the three-toed sloths are definitely closer to being on the endangered list than the two-toed, because we don't have a population of them like this in captivity. So, but on top of it being a really slow process for it all to go through, we use enzymes to digest our food, but they don't. They use the bacteria to digest theirs. And so while we're born with our enzymes that we use to digest our food, they're not born with the bacteria that they require to digest theirs. So it has to come from somewhere. And the first bacteria that they'll get will actually come from their mothers through her saliva. So a lot of times while they're eating and while they're thinking about eating, they'll start to salivate like that. And as the baby will climb up onto the chest of the mother, they'll start to lick the mother in the corners of her mouth and lick up all that saliva. And the bacteria that mom already has established in her gut is also in her saliva, so that's transferred over to the baby. And baby will get just a little bit of mom's bacteria colony, and then they can start to develop it on their own, as long as they're warm. Because bacteria, as we know, needs a warm, wet, moist environment to be able to grow. So that's why we have it 80 degrees in here, because if they ever got cold, their body temperature would drop as well. They can't maintain it, and that bacteria would be wiped out. Now, in the rainforest, that becomes an issue, because for the most part, it's pretty hot and humid, but depending on the season that it is, overnight, it can drop as low as 60 degrees. And so if it drops outside, their internal body temperature drops, and that bacteria could be completely. So wild sloths actually will have a symbiotic relationship with a very specific type of moth called the sloth moth that only lives on the back of a wild sloth and nowhere else in the entire world. And those moths will live on their backs and crawl all throughout their hair. They'll have anywhere from 100 to 150 moths crawling all over their backs. And they need those despite, if somebody were to just pass by and see a sloth that had a bunch of bugs and moths crawling all over it, I might think that thing's sick. It needs some kind of medicine or needs to be taken to a rescue or something. When in reality, this is what they need. Because those moths will produce the same bacteria the sloths use to digest their food and their waste product. So as they're pooping and crawling around through the sloth's back and everything, the sloth will groom themselves, lick up some of that bacteria, and begin to digest their food again. So it's a super, super cool symbiotic relationship.
Only God
Because-
could figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't even gotten to the craziest part yet.
There's more with
Yes,
you?
there's more. So with those moths, it's symbiotic, meaning that the sloths need the moths and the moths need the sloths in order to survive. If either one didn't have the other one, the whole thing would go kaput. And so once a week, when the sloth goes to the bathroom, because they do only go once a week, about every 7 to 10
Your
days.
husband's a sloth.
It's a big trip for them, because every time they go all the way down to the base of the tree, they hold on to the trunk, and they do this classic potty dance where they'll wiggle their booties back and forth, and then they'll go to the bathroom. And when they go, all of those moths will crawl down off of the sloth and lay their eggs in the dung pile. And then a week later, when the sloth gets the urge to go to the bathroom again, they always go back to that same tree. Even if they're in several trees down, they'll go back. By nightfall, they'll be back in that same tree because they'll use the same side of the tree to the same pile they always go to. Not because they're creatures of habit or because they're trying to fertilize only that one tree, but because of the sloth moth symbiotic relationship. When they go back down there, last week's eggs that were laid have now developed into this week's larvae, and last week's larvae have developed into this week's adult moths, and those moths will crawl back up onto the sloth, more eggs will be laid. And so this cycle just always goes around and around every week. So, and it works that way.
Get up, the bus is here.
Yeah.
Get on the sloth bus.
And it works that way because those moths, they have wings, but they can't fly. So they're essentially useless. If they could fly, the sloth could just go to the bathroom hanging up in the tree, let it fall, and the moths could go down and lay their eggs when they wanted to, but that's not the way that they were created. And after all of that and all of the intricacies and little things that can be messed up so easily, but they've all fallen into the right place, to me it just makes so much more sense to point towards the fact that there's intelligent design rather than evolutionary happenstance.
Believe it or
I
not,
just-
you are intelligent.
I just don't see
you
how
are
all of it
intentional.
could just come from,
No,
you
not at
know,
all.
from nothing or from something
Not at all.
slowly over, you know, a long time.
No,
Because it all just works together so well.
you're not from the gooey to the zooey, you know.
And it's so much easier for me to explain all the intricacies inside of a sloth rather than all the intricacies inside of us, every living human being. Even just what it takes for me to just move my arm like that is just crazy at a microscopic level. So it's really cool that I get to have a chance to explain all that to people.
You were almost in the clean plate club.
He is working as an artist.
Oh, excuse me.
Goodness, buddy. If you didn't smash it up your nose, you wouldn't have to sneeze it out.
He has highlights.
I think I've got some mango in the fridge here. I'm gonna see if we can.
You cracked her, she's gonna give you fruit.
You ate it after your good stuff.
You still not want a bean? We like green beans.
He's still working on a bottle of rice all the time. He's just being slow to wake up this morning. The rest of your mango.
You and me
here,
both,
buddy.
brother. I got up early for you. Is he still your spirit animal?
Yes. Even more so now that I know more about him.
He needs a bath. He's a little nappy right now.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you slobber on yourself.
Yeah. Let that be a lesson
Yes,
to you.
I will keep that in mind. My takeaway. Makes me also want to work on my core.
A lot of people think
That's a
that
good
sloths
point.
are really dirty, gross, stinky animals because in the wild, you know, we just talked about how they have all those moths and stuff living all over them. But sloths by nature don't have any natural scent glands, musk glands, oil glands, or odor to them. And so they're essentially the cleanest animal we have on the entire farm. Because all of
The
our
rest
other
of them are all
animals,
nasty.
yeah, all of our other animals will poop and
Yeah.
then lay down next to it. So with the sloth, even in captivity, even though they don't have the moths on their back, they don't need them, they don't need that ecosystem that will grow on their backs, they still will go all the way down to the base of one of the trees that are in their enclosures and use the bathroom in the same exact spot every single
It's gotta
time.
be done.
Yeah,
Keep their home neat.
yeah.
Is there a turtle?
There are two actually,
Oh.
and they're
She's a
tortoises.
turtle. That's my
turtle.
animal.
Yeah.
As I say, that's a tortoise, that's not a turtle. It's
Yeah.
a little.
Those are sulcata tortoises. Those will get to be 100 pounds if they
Oh,
live long
gosh.
enough. Those are
She's
only
obsessed
gonna-
with sloths, I'm obsessed with turtles.
Yeah.
Turtles her whole life.
So all in one room.
Yes.
Alright, well here's these little mango pieces if you wanna try those.
He'll like that. Dessert time, buddy.
Hey. Mango. Can you smell it? Can you see it?
He's
Come on.
still slowly
We have
chewing
something
on
new.
that one.
Keep working on it. Come
Those
on
are
down
our
when you're
wings.
ready.
The bigger of the two is about a year old and the smaller one's about 6 months old. And they have a love-hate relationship with that iguana. So half the time he rides them around like he's royalty.
They're so pretty.
Yeah. They're pretty
There's
cool.
fruit down here, Rice Boy. Mango.
Hey, bud.
You have peripheral vision?
Well, their vision is absolutely terrible. So they have a condition called rod monochromacy, That means they only have rod cells in their eyes and no cone cells. So that means they're completely colorblind. The cone cells allow us to see color, and their rod cells pick up motion. So they have a lot more rod cells than we do. So it's the motion that they're really attracted to, but they can't really tell what things are that are moving. They really just see shapes and shadows.
Come on down here.
He's like, put it in my mouth.
He's like, oh, the good stuff is coming out now.
Still got rice on your nose, buddy.
You need a moth to come and clean your teeth off.
But the reason why they don't need the moths here, a lot of people will ask because I say that in the wild that's how they digest their food. And that's because here we always keep them warm. We never let their temperature fluctuate, and we only let them go outside into their outdoor enclosures when it's above 75 degrees. So that bacteria that they got in their system from their mother when they were babies will always stay in their systems as long as they're warm. But for the wild sloths, anytime they ever get cold, if that's ever wiped out, that's when they need more. Yeah.
You got it right here. You like the mangoes?
We used to have Mango Monday every week. We eat like almost an entire mango.
And you ate your good
I
stuff.
like the mangoes too.
Chew it up.
Think of those big sharp teeth, you'd be able to get it done a little bit quicker.
He's savoring.
At least you taste it. My dog just sucks it down when someone steals it from him.
Well, the babies tend to do that too. So Chloe right now, she's only 8 months old, and she's 2 pounds, so she's got a tiny little mouth. And yeah, and so when we add in new things, like she's on right now, she gets a lot more of that rice mixture than she does anything else. But when we add in new things, like if we start to add in mango or something, the first time she ever tries mango, I guarantee you she's gonna put it in her mouth and try to swallow the whole thing. They tend to get excited when they try new things and they don't remember that they have to chew. So you gotta be careful when you're adding new things in. The pieces have to start out pretty small, that way they don't choke on it. Because I have not been trained on how to do the Heimlich on a sloth, so I have had to do the pinky sweep a few times with her because she's tried to swallow whole things, but they start to do better as they get older.
Very cool. Very dainty. My dog could learn.
So fun.
And then Miss Bart's
Here's cool. Do you do the same? So we're the switching.
I'll knock your lights and
You got anything else planned for today, or are you guys just heading back home?
I'll be actually driving back to Nashville
Oh,
today.
Yeah.
Christmas vacation is about
Yeah.
over. My birthday was 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
So she was like, do you want me to tell you what your gift is, or do you want to wait? And I was like, well, I've never had a real true surprise before,
Yeah.
so just sit on it.
Yeah.
But she said it was torture. So I guess petting something, because she told me yesterday, don't wear scented lotions or perfumes or anything like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
like, okay, there's an animal involved.
I'm,
Yeah.
like, I'm either going to my mammogram or I'm going to see an animal.
That
That's
would be
like,
the worst birthday
I
ever.
know. I'm like, no. That's why I was like, I'm going to see a Haiwan. Because I knew there was no sloths around. So I was like, I didn't even think about that. So,
Well, Flash, it was lovely to meet you. You made my day. Bucket list item checked.
Feels good.
Bucket list item checked.
Even though you got the slobbery version.
That's
of it this
okay.
morning.
I'll take the slobbery version. Yes, I will. I don't have anything else in my hand. You're very precious. If I look upside down, can I see you?
Some scientists actually speculate that when they're looking upside down like that, that's actually their way of seeing right side up.
okay.
And when they're the other way, like if they come down and they're trying to crawl somewhere,
Right.
and they're what we would consider to be right side up, that's like everything's
That's
flipped
weird
for
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because everything else inside of their body is geared to be an upside down animal. So their circulatory system, their digestive tract, everything works best when it's upside down. And for them, the reason why he can turn himself completely inverted and eat and swallow his food, you know, if I tried to do a handstand and eat, it wouldn't work out well for me.
Back to that highway.
Yeah. We have a two-way valve, so we can swallow our food and regurgitate it. They don't, they only have a one-way valve, so after they swallow something, it's staying in, even if they're upside down.
Interesting.
So,
You gotta take us. Thank you for
Do they
letting
drink
us
water?
in.
a little bit, not a whole lot. When they're babies, they tend to drink a little bit more, but as they get older, they get most of the water content that they need from the foods that they're eating.
He's like, look alive.
So gentle. So gentle.
It looks like he's kissing you.
And you can see the leather there that's on their paw
Oh,
too,
yeah.
that's actually super sensitive for
I never
them.
noticed that.
Since their eyesight is so poor, a lot of times they can't even really see what it looks like they're grabbing hold of. Looks like could be a branch, could be a snake, we don't really know. So they'll reach out and grab a hold of it, and then after they grab a hold of it, that's when they process, okay, that's something sturdy.
Hold it, yeah.
But if they're scurrying away from something, like if something has actually scared them and they're trying to get away from it, if they grab a hold of what they think looks like the next branch, and they don't give their brain time to process it, it could be their own arm, which does happen sometimes, and then they'll let go of the back leg and fall. So
Like the
falling,
iguanas in Florida when
yes.
they get cold.
Falling for the sloths in the wild happens about once a week on average, so it's a pretty common occurrence
It's
for
raining
them.
sloths.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that the sloths are kind of built like trucks on the inside, because they can survive a fall from up to 100 feet in the air
gosh.
and be completely unharmed. Maybe days for a minute, but
Yeah.
then, crawl back up the tree that it fell from. Because they have a total of 46 ribs, that's double what we have. They have two sets of 23, and the bottom 23 goes like right up against their hip bones. So it protects
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And all of their organs are not in the middle of their body cavity like ours are. They're up against their body wall. So when they hit the ground, they don't really sustain internal damage. Their bones are also very different than ours and pretty difficult to break. So they don't really break bones on their way down either.
They just hit the ground and go,
Yeah. Yeah, they their rib cage like flexes down under their body weight and then springs back up, so they do kind of bounce almost. If we fell from that high, we'd probably make more of a
Oh, yeah.
splat than
Yeah.
anything else. So,
That's crazy.
they're just built different.
That is so wild.
Thank
So
you
are
so
the,
much.
You're
are
very
the
welcome.
other ones where we can see them somewhere? or
Not
are
right
they-
now, no, they're both on, it's not time for their encounters just yet. So they're all
I
slated
didn't know
right
if
now.
we could like see in there.
They're sloughing.
Yeah, they're slothing. Alright, little boy.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
This has been
Glad you got to
fabulous.
come and spend some
Hi.
time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Slobbery face
Are
and
you
all.
smiling? Thank you, Flash. You're awfully handsome. To some, including me.
Good.
Just gonna drop a turd. He's posing for a picture with you like that.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Very
Birthday, Miss
welcome.
Rachel.
Can you take a picture of him with him?
Oh,
Do you want me to take a picture of both you guys?
Oh, yes.
Let me get one of them. Oh, that's super close.
Smile, Sloth.
Or- I think it was the air blowing.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. Yeah, don't forget all your personal items, because I always do.
I dropped him down here. Cause I figured I'd probably go off
Bye.
and donate it to the.
Back into the fidget